Dynamite! Woo!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to AEW Dynamite Dirt Sheet Radio Review, featuring your boys Neek, Robbie, and Caesar.
Thank you, first name, last name from College University.
Let's go.
All right. Hey, welcome, chat, to another episode of Dirt Sheet Radio covering the Dynamite recap. This is for Dynamite 264. Fellas, this was quite the episode overall. Before we get into it, what do we all think of this?
It was fun.
It was a nice little fun show, obviously. Better than last week's episode.
There was wrestling.
Pretty fun.
Yeah, you know who it wasn't fun for? The wrestlers at the very end. We had especially Chuck Taylor getting absolutely obliterated by Moxley and friends.
That was definitely
throughout the night. Yes, throughout the night we had the AEW army right there on the front line, ready for whenever Jon Moxley and that Ram truck with the rest of the crew just drives on in there. What are they calling them? The Death Riders or BCC Remnants, something like that. Anyways, they have been completely causing complete pandemonium, chaos, you name it. They've been doing it. Everyone is on the hunt for Moxley, Marina Shafir, Wheeler Yuta, Claudio Castagnoli, and of course, Pac.
No one's looking for Yuta. No.
Oh, no one is. Okay. But they managed to cause quite the chaos, quite the little scene right there when they were able to sneak their way into the arena. It's almost like the AEW frontline should have been stationed at more than just one parking lot, because I think there's like 4 different ways to get into most arenas at least. But hey, you know what? That's fine. They managed to sneak their way in there. The only one who was incognito was Jon Moxley. I think all of them should have been dressed up as crew, but that's me nitpicking. Anyways, Jon Moxley drags on in there. Chuck Taylor, who earlier in the night told Orange Cassidy it's time to step it up, and Orange makes it too little too late to go and save his boy. Wheeler Yuta didn't look too pleased at the attack going on to his former mentor, though. Fellas, what do we think of this attack?
Well, this is something that we have seen every single week out of these guys, but the fact of the matter is they did what Chuck Taylor and the receiving end of was the exact same way as Bryan Danielson was taken out. And the fact that we were waiting all night long to see what these guys are going to do, great job by the game plan that Moxley and the rest had by coming into another entrance of the building, which was very smart. Don't know how that went not down, but hopefully at some point we might get the behind the scenes look at all of that. But I love the fact that they foreshadowed what was going to happen. As we have noticed for the past... Hello, Randy. For the past few weeks, we have seen them foreshadow what's coming next. You have seen guys like Chuck Taylor call out Moxley in the group, but then get taken out short thereafter. This is a great way to keep building the story that they've been going for. Can't wait to see how Orange Cassidy is going to take this as revenge. Hopefully this leads into Mox versus Orange Cassidy, possibly at Full Gear for the title. I'm here for it. Caesar, what are your opinions on this?
I'm enjoying it. We need this kind of weird thing going on. We always need a little bit of that weird. On a hilarious side note, I'm surprised when Marina got out of her vehicle. I'm surprised no one was like, nope. But on a serious note, though, like these little vignettes are doing where they show up and just completely destroy people is getting like better and better. I hope next week they don't do it at the end of the show. Like they do it, dare I say, periodically. You know, start of the show, they take out somebody. Halfway through the show, they wrestle up some people and like, you know, not to kill them off, but just like ruin their day. And then at the end of the night, they go full send and just curb stomp somebody or, you know, ruin someone's day. Hey, maybe next week Marina Shafir takes out a woman. We don't know. I'm all for this angle so far. It's getting pretty, like I said in the chat, like it's gotten pretty dark, but it's making you always want to watch more. So we'll see.
I was kind of questioning too why on the AEW frontline we didn't truly have any women. Of course, the one and only John Escudero, of course, fixing that up, making sure.
We didn't fix that up. That was official.
That was the official one.
Well, yeah.
That was the official
lighting and everything. That's right there.
We did see Karen Jarrett too.
Her planet needed her. But yes, we of course then have this following the main event, which itself was pretty solid, I'd say. We had the EVPs and Scapegoat taking on Daniel Garcia and Private Party. Yo, Tony Schiavone living his best life whenever Private Party comes out there. I gotta appreciate that.
How much you want to bet Tony Schiavone parties with those guys? Like
he better.
He out parties those two.
Listen, he has had so many opportunities to party with the best of the best. Like I'm sure has been hung over with Tully Blanchard and Ric Flair back in the NWA days.
Shows up to like the AEW taping, still half cut. Guys, I got this. His eyes are like this. You guys, I'm fine. Just give me a glass of water and some Tylenol. It's okay.
Yeah, that Tony, you're leading. The Gatorade throughout. Boom.
Tony, you're leading your chair. I hate you. Whoa.
Exactly. But you know what? We had Garcia and Private Party taking on the Elite, and honestly, AEW faithful right there. Daniel Garcia wearing the colors, tried and true, which that itself made me think, why weren't the rest of the front line wearing AEW shirts? That would have added a little bit of unity there, I feel, especially because we had faces and heels in the same area.
I feel like it's one of those things where eventually they're going to be like, you know what? I hate you guys, but we're going to group up. And when this is over with, we're not friends anymore, kind of thing. And then they'll be like, here's the t-shirt of our team. No, everyone's going to start wearing it for like the next, like, I don't think they're going to finish at Full Gear. They're going to go for a few cycles. There's no way in hell it's going to stop just at Full Gear. Like, that'd be so stupid.
Oh, yeah. Things are going to be continuing to just rise out there. We have Muhammad saying, Ring of Honor definitely into the schnitzel now. Well, the next time I watch Ring of Honor and see Jericho with the title, my reaction, bye, guys. I mean, Ring of Honor's future, says Muhammad.
I mean, I do agree with Muhammad, but like at the same time, it's like I wouldn't stop watching it just because of Jericho. I would just put it on mute, truthfully, because yeah, that was a dumb idea. But we'll get to that match when we get to it.
I'm gonna try to keep myself professional when we do too. Is it?
Oh yeah, I know. We saw your opinion in the chat. It was very let's just say above 14 plus, no matter what part of the world you're in.
Yeah.
Joseph says all of the champions are heels. Someone needs to drop a title soon.
I mean, I don't know. Okada is kind of in between. Like, he's a heel, but people still love the hell out of him.
Here's one of the things I'll say too when it comes to Moxley's group. They see what they're doing as righteous and in the right, and they see themselves as faces, and I like that dynamic about it.
That and Jack Perry too has a vigilante about him too, so people still cheer him even though he is a heel.
Muhammad says, let's be honest, Athena is the sole saving grace of Ring of Honor right now.
Yeah.
To a degree, I agree with that. I mean, we still have... I wish they had more exclusivity in there. Like, imagine Briscoe being much more of the fighting champion representing Ring of Honor. Like, that would have been fire. But I understand why you'd want Jericho as the champ right now. But we'll get into that a little bit later.
I will say, the way I can describe Athena is like when you eat spicy food and then you're like, I should drink milk. And then you find out milk was a bad choice. That's like this right now. Like, there are so many more superior women. Manada. Sorry, my nasal cavities blew up.
I think Athena, though, is really good in what she's doing for Ring of Honor. I just think one of the issues, though, is the fact that we don't see her elsewhere. And when she has been featured on AEW, she tends to either just be the jobber or lose in the semifinals of a tournament.
If I had to decide between two choices of watching another Athena match or saving Lil Wayne from drowning, I'd reach for a life preserver. Because, yeah, that's the subtle way of explaining it.
For Athena's cosplay, right?
Yeah, cosplay, a wrestler. I mean, what? This thing's on. But anyways,
All right, back to the main event. We had
I have-
Garcia and Private Party getting their victory over
Okay.
the EVPs once
I-
more.
I have
Yeah, Caesar.
one beef with this match. Like, it was a good match. Everyone got to shine. Garcia didn't do his dance, but who cares? Because that's gonna save that for his actual championship win.
All
My
business tonight.
Yeah, that man came in, did his work, and then walked out with his boys, hands held high and on his face. But no, it's how the match ended. Because when they did the roll up, I couldn't tell whose shoulders were down. I'm not saying that the wrong party won, but I was just like, I looked at the replay. I was like, did I miss something here, or am I just like tripping hard balls here, boys? What's going on?
I think that's might be more of a production kind of thing because I thought the same thing too. I thought both men's shoulders were down, but I think it was just more of like about the camera angle that they had done that made it look like that.
Yeah,
I think the camera angles tonight were really just troublesome because I'm thinking too of Froggy Bow off the ladder onto Jericho through the tables. It looked like he missed from the camera angle they showed, but when we saw a replay from a different angle, it looked much better.
Yeah.
I was gonna say more so that like I smell next week that the Young Bucks go, that was crap and you guys got lucky when really your shoulders were down, but it's like, no, you guys lost. Shut the hell up. We're sick of you guys being champions. There are way better teams right now that should have championships. And especially considering who the Bucks are, they don't need the belts. They're good as they are.
They do not. Honestly, I think at the last pay-per-view, that should have been when we pulled the trigger on Private Party. But hey, Private Party
so hard, holy smokes.
Private Party is going to be getting that chance though, because Brother Zay takes the microphone right after the match, and it was a hard-fought victory too that they got, and they once again get that surprise victory over the Bucks. And here's the other thing too: Brother Zay had a lot of confidence going into it, so he grabs the microphone and says, "Hey Bucks, once again, we have defeated you, so we will be putting our duo on the line. If we lose this match, then Private Party will never team together ever again." And Quen seemed a little bit like, "What are you doing, bro? Why are we doing
they
that?"
were just splitting up.
No, Brother Zay said like outright, like, this is the end of Private Party forever.
I think he may be taking what Stokely had kind of said, where he said Zay's the single star here, unlike Quen, which honestly I wouldn't want to see Private Party split up because they are such a great tag team together. And honestly, we all know that Zay would be the one getting more pushed, and then Gwen's going to be lost in the fold.
I don't know. Quinn's been showing off pretty good lately, so
yeah, that's too.
He has. Both these guys really showed off what they can do in this match, and I look too at the 2-on-1. Brother Zay was trying to hold his own against the Bucks during the main event, and Quen jumps in and evens it out, and Quen just all of a sudden takes charge, and I really respected that, especially while Garcia looks like he's tearing his hamstring on the outside, kicking Jack Perry over the barricade.
Let's just say it like it is. Garcia was dead at ringside for a bit. Don't need to sugarcoat it. He was basically, there's a crime scene at ringside.
Oh, yeah. And like the way he kicks Jack Perry over the barricade and then just kind of hobbled and wasn't moving, like something felt like it messed up there. So hopefully he's going to be okay going into the future. I
don't want to be this guy, but I want to be the guy who actually kind of predicts it. How much you want to bet Garcia is going to be pretty screwed up for a couple weeks, and then like closer to full gear, he'll be fine.
Yeah,
I can see that. Hopefully.
And I'm not saying like injured as in like super full blown injured. I'm talking like on kayfabe, he's like selling the shit out of it, but on like paper, he's like, "Oh, I'm good, dude. It's okay." That's what I would love to see. And then shows up at full gear.
Basically playing the mind games.
Playing awesome. And then shows up at full gear and ruins Jack Perry's day and wins the belt. I'll take it.
Let's say, let's hear it for the kids, as old man Shivani says amidst the victory there. And that's when we led into the attack. But fellas, any last things to say about our final segment and the main event before we take it on back to the start of the show?
The main event itself was, to me, was pretty damn good. If I would have had to say, I did like the fact that they were overlapping Private Party and the Young Bucks rivalry and Perry's and Garcia's rivalry, which you get more exposure to those storylines all in one match. But the one last thing I have to say is I love the spot of where the Bucks did their 450 while Perry did that DDT on the outside, that was perfect timing. Both landed right on the canvas.
Oh, yeah.
On the outside, perfectly on timing. So I'm going to give Young Bucks and Perry props for doing that on great timing.
That was crisp.
I just hope next week the match goes swimmingly, and they finally put the belts on Private Party. Let's just say it now.
Don't break them up.
Let's just say it now. If they show up next week with their classic music and cheesecake, they're winning it. I'm just saying that now.
Cheesecake better get involved. That's what I want. Cheesecake doesn't want to see them break up. He will get involved personally and make sure.
It'd be scary as shit. Mid-match, the boys are down, and like all of a sudden you just see Cheesecake climb up or stand up from the side, take his headset off, and go into the ring.
We got
you know how scary that'd be? Just see Cheesecake walk up, not jump through the ropes, climb up the stairs slowly.
Dude, he is intense. He's an intimidating looking guy. I mean, he's got that Marine Corps background. He is jacked. Oof.
I feel like he'd crush a young buck with one hand.
Oh yeah, he could palm each one of them just like cheesecake.
What does finisher be, I wonder?
Maybe also
the frosting.
The frosting, yes.
Baked goods.
The cake. But
like something absurd.
Shake and bake.
Ooh.
Also, I honestly wouldn't mind seeing them too going past the time limit and then do a ladder match or something at Full Gear where Private Party wins the titles at Full Gear.
I hate to say this, but Robbie's got a point.
But remember, if they lose, probably in any way, because it's the EVPs, Private Party's going to break up.
No, but Robbie has a good point, and I would love to see that. But at the same time, I agree with you too. That knowing those guys, they'd be dicks about it, or else Nick would be like, no. We're gonna be nice to you guys. Since you guys think you're so good, we're gonna let you have your shot on a bigger stage, and then they'll go to Full Gear. But we'll see. We just gotta wait. What, a month still?
Yeah, we're almost there.
I believe it's like either the weekend before Thanksgiving or after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, your guys' is Thanksgiving.
It's approaching. Hey.
So I think Survivor Series is on the 30th. I think the week before is Full Gear.
Yeah, the Survivor Series is like a flight away from my area.
November the 23rd on a Saturday. Mm-hmm. Of course, everyone listening to this in the chat, make sure you go and join us because Dirt Sheet Radio is always on, and we will, of course, be covering that after the show. All right, but fellas, let's take it on back to the start. Hey, we spoke about them earlier. We had Moxley and friends. Again, Moxley going over his reign of terror. He's in the desert. This dude is scary now. I love it. This is absolutely everything he needs to be. But remember, the whole roster is standing by, waiting for him. And Riho, of course.
I have one actual question for you two.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Where's the belt?
Why was I thinking that, in the desert, they, buried it and then drove off? I thought they were going to show something like that.
I think the belt was in the briefcase from last week.
No, that's fine if it is. But, this kind of almost denotes the belt. It's isn't the belt supposed to be, the biggest prize in the game, and we're just kind of, sticking it in the background?
Yeah,
that's just my difference.
I think, too, that's kind of what Moxley wants to do with it. Because he's not here to defend it. He's not here to, be a champion. He's here to just cause chaos and have that reign of terror. And I got your belt. What are you gonna do about it?
No, like Robbie was saying, if it's in the briefcase, that's cool. That's fine. I'm just curious where it is. I'm not like, oh my god, you have to have matches. It's like, okay, well, if he's cooking us the storyline, let's see where he goes.
I would have loved to have seen them just drop that duffel bag in the desert and drive off. And plot twists, the AEW production left it there and they didn't take any coordinates or anything, so now it's lost forever.
You supposed to grab it? Oh, he was. Oh shit.
Or they can take a page of the Attitude Era book and go by a river, throw that belt in the river, and then bring up a custom made belt just like the old days.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say they're gonna lose it in the shipping and receiving area at an airport.
Right. But hey, we want to speak about criminals. We, of course, have the hangman coming out, and he, of course, is really making Tony Schiavone nervous. The amount of times he has threatened to hurt our guy. But no, you don't get to do that to Tony Schiavone.
Dude, Tony Schiavone would break his neck. Let's just go.
Oh,
Let's
exactly.
get
Like,
on
Tony
we saw
Schiavone.
Tony Schiavone was flexing earlier.
You know why he wears that jacket all the time?
Cover up the muscles.
Exactly. That thing comes off. He could break out all three of us at once. Let's just get it out there.
Oh yeah, Tony Schiavone is 100% stronger than Cheesecake, and that's me not saying it as a certainty. That's me saying it as a fact.
Tony Schiavone's finisher is on a pole. That's what it's called.
But hey, Hangman Adam Page is talking all about good news, fellas. My Discord payment went through. Discord Nitro, let's go. But anyways, back to the show. We had Hangman Page grabbing the microphone from Tony Schiavone talking about how he basically just decapitated Jay White last week and then laid there like an absolute maniac. But you know what? Colton Gunn's going to just rush on in there and he's going to try to jump the Hangman. But you don't get that at the Hangman. Colton Gunn tried to jump at Hangman outside the ring, and he went over the barrier. Hangman moved out of the way, and Colton just ate absolute garbage at ringside area, whatever they're leaving over there at the timekeeper's table. As he's getting annihilated, Hangman gets the belt ready. He's going to mean some serious business, but the real daddies come out as Rock Hard Juice Robinson and Switchblade Jay White come here to make the save. At first, they're staying on one side of the ring, but then they're like, hey, wait a minute, there's two of us. You go on that side, I'll go on this side. And, they managed to get the better of the Hangman, so much so Hangman started limping away. Jay White lets him know this would have been a perfect 5-0 over him if it wasn't for Christian Cage. So Jay White still has something to prove against the Hangman, and he's going to be trying to prove it against Christian Cage as well, and anyone else that stands in his way. Robbie, your thoughts on this?
My thoughts on it was it was an okay segment. I wanted to hear Hangman speak a lot more about the whole thing with Jay White, and then waited for Colton Gunn to come out to attack after he was done talking. But overall, it was a brutal ass whooping. I kind of figured Hangman was going to kill Colton Gunn because look at Colton. Without his brother Austin, he's really not somebody to go out and kick some ass. But otherwise, with Jay White and the Hangman's feud, this is so good. This is very reminiscent to what the character was with Hangman, with Swerve, and he's got that obsession since Jay White has beaten him. But however, I just think that I just wanted to hear Hangman talk a little more about Jay White and then go for it. For me, it was an okay segment. It wasn't my favorite segment of the night, but it got the purpose done what they needed to do done when it comes down to building for their next match.
Also, do you guys remember when Colton Gunn was like 33-0 from Dark?
Oh my
Yes.
God, we're going there.
His undefeated streak.
Undefeated streak in Dark.
Well, didn't Serpentico have like I'll win $1 billion or something like that?
Yeah, and he had the exact opposite. Did you guys
And
see that one picture of like Serpentico versus John Cruz? And like, this match will never happen.
There's actually a picture
Yeah.
of that. I gotta see that.
Yeah,
picture.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
kind
check it.
of funny.
I've been on the Dirt Sheet Radio socials, but Caesar.
Oh yeah, I gotta get my opinion. I forgot about that. No, I'm on the same page as you guys. I'm enjoying the hell out of this. Like it's we need those feuds that are not just like I'm here to murder you, but like I'm gonna work up to murdering you. I'm gonna put a prediction on the table for the next little while here. Why do I feel like we're gonna have Colton versus like Nick Wayne or something like that at some point, or like Colton versus like Christian, but it gets like interrupted somehow and Christian wins just to piss off Jay White some more.
When the time comes and Austin returns from injury, can we see the gunmen taking on the sons of the Patriarch?
That'd be something, actually. I'd be down to see
That'd
that.
be sick. That'd be a great
Would be
match.
good.
When was the last time we had Kip in a match on TV? Be honest, I can't remember.
I can't remember either. It's been like
That's a good question.
a
Let's look it up.
while ago.
I'm gonna say
I would
last
say
year.
before his, I think it was before his injury too, because he was injured for a while.
Now we're talking about just his last match in general. I remember him in the what was it? The kind of 2-ring battle royal,
That doesn't
Royal
count.
Rampage. His last match was a 4-way, September 18th on Rampage against Nick Wayne, Leo
Oh
Rush,
my
and Rocky
God,
Romero.
that's
That was a
right.
good match.
That was
Oh, yeah,
recently,
that's
wasn't it?
right.
That was like this
Yeah.
year.
And he was also in the 16-man tag team dark match at All in London.
Mm.
Everyone's getting a payday there, boys.
Dark
Oh
match.
my God.
Yeah. Moving on, unless we had any other final thoughts
No.
there.
Like I said, I predict that, and then my prediction was that, and then you put yours on top of mine. I was like, oh, that's even better. So I'll be down to see that.
And speaking of stuff we were down to see, I was really looking forward to this opening match. Shelton Benjamin taking on Sammy Guevara. We have the symbol, the standard, the personification of excellence taking on one of the main four pillars in AEW. Oh my gosh, even just at the very start of this match, freaking Shelton flips Sammy like a pancake. The strength and power that Shelton Benjamin has is absolutely unreal, unmatched athleticism. We, of course, are going to have a callback, but I'll visit that towards the end when we talk about that. But I got to know what you guys thought of this match, Caesar.
Honestly, the way they're presenting Shelton, I saw it somewhere on the socials where someone was like, in one night, they've undone all the crap from the past that he dealt with in this one amazing match. And the amount of likes was ridiculous. So, yeah, that's all I got to say on that one is like, whoever is writing this or producing or whatever in the back, I'd give you a crisp high five and possibly a large coffee just to sweeten the deal. Because whether it's Shelton literally just being a powerhouse or he's doing some X-factor stuff, thrust kicks, hits, taking his time, stalking his prey. Yeah, it's and the fact that he's 260 and he's going like holy. You know what? Like, that scares the crap out of me. What about you, Robbie? How scared are you?
Pretty scared when it comes to Shelton Benjamin about this new way he's doing things in the wrestling ring. But I completely agree with Caesar when he said that after last week, everything that went wrong in Shelton's career, it definitely erased. They were presenting him how he should have been presented a long time ago in the E at this point. And Shelton Benjamin, he is a freak of nature. The dude is very powerful now. He definitely took a lot of the things that he learned over in Japan, brought that over. And also, we always talked about Sammy Guevara as being one of the four pillars of AEW. He was there from day one. And now that Shelton Benjamin took out one of the day ones of All Elite Wrestling, that is going to put that locker room on notice when everybody else for the Hurt Syndicate comes in. And I also will point out, too, I like how they are just completely going away from the gold standard from Shelton Benjamin. I love that presentation of calling him the standard of excellence because it has been nothing but excellence since these last two matches have been coming around for the weeks after this week and last week.
Hey.
Obviously, Sammy Guevara is... John did touch on this, and I will agree with him. Sammy kind of did look like there was a little bit of a misstep with him and Shelton, but then again, there too, I'm pretty sure this is their first time ever really facing each other compared to what Shelton and Leo have probably done in the past. That's probably why.
And plus, too, you also got the point that Sammy is probably a little bit nervous because we saw his post on social media. Yeah. He's up against one of his all-time favorites.
But I think Sammy did fine though.
Spoiler alert! According to a source that I just looked up on. Apparently, Hologram might be injured. Yeah,
I saw that too.
Yeah. I think he got hurt during the 2 out of 3 falls with Mortals.
He did a mega backflip to the 5th row from the top rope.
Man was, he was getting all kinds of crazy. And towards the end, he definitely seemed like he was dying.
Whatever.
So hopefully he can be back soon. That was. Hopefully. I just wish it was in a different
Well wishes to Hologram.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But what we say too... Well wishes to Sammy Guevara after the beatdown he took from Shelton Benjamin. And again, I love Shelton Benjamin, so I was very happy to again see another showcase of why he is truly great and excellent. And of course, we had the full circle moment. I don't need to say anything more about that. Let's just watch it.
Oh,
of course, reference to.
What I was gonna say was like I heard that Sammy's tooth is in the front row and someone caught it and put it on eBay.
Yeah, absolutely. Britt Baker's not on standby right now.
Ooh, we're going there.
That's why Adam Cole had to quickly be escorted away.
Oh, you just upset half the IWC. Oh no. Oh no.
When will we ever not though?
I don't know.
True. That's Dirt Sheet Radio for you.
That's
Yep.
where we got to do it. Right, Nick?
Exactly. But hey, we're going to be going into something that really upset a lot of the fans, especially the female fans, because Coyle Fletcher, he came
Actually-
out to go. Yes, sir.
I don't know, man. Like I was telling you guys in the pre-chat, like a lot of women were like, "Oh my god, his outfit looks better now." I'm like, "Whoa, slow down, calm down."
Hey, simps are gonna simp, am I right? And we got all the girls simping over Mr. Kyle Fletcher.
Nick's a secret Don Callis simp. It's obvious.
Coming from you, okay, big shot. All right, anyways, Kyle Fletcher himself. You remember, I can control who comes into the show, sir.
Puts like 10 new people in here by himself. Whoa.
So yes, Kyle Fletcher is in here, and he is just talking up a storm, letting everyone know why he did what he did, calling Osprey trash, calling Omega trash. Everyone else knows as Mama Larocco, I gotta say, called him Lurch from the Addams Family.
Oh, you know it's a massive burn when she swoops in with the save without anyone knowing her saying that, and she just swoops in. Ooh, Kyle, you screwed up. You screwed
Sky
up.
Blue, of course, flipping out at
happy.
Kyle the Barber Fletcher over here, cutting off some hair.
Not Barbarian, the Barber.
Exactly.
That's his new
taking
character
notes from
next
Bruce
week.
Beefcake. But yes, Kyle Fletcher making sure that he is truly a member of the Don Callis family. So much so he will go bald, just like the one and only Don Callis.
Is Lance Archer going to shave his head next?
We'll see. I mean, it was all about changing up your appearance for the Don Callis family, and we'll be talking about that. But honestly, I think Archer's new look is pretty cool.
Which one, the Drew Archer or the Lance Archer?
What?
The Drew Archer last week, remember?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, I kind of like the low-down, sad, Scottish psychopath Drew McIntyre version of Archer. It looks cool.
It was
on him.
weird not seeing him with colorful braids, that's for sure.
Yeah, the appropriated braids that only British Bulldog was allowed to use. I also think Brian Cage looked really good today too.
Oh yeah, he
Yeah,
looks like a monster. I felt kind of bad for Kyle tonight though, in a way.
Really?
Like he's doing his thing, he's starting to actually pick up steam and all this craziness, and half the crowd was telling him to shut up. I was like, damn. I'm like, you guys, he's trying to do a character, like chill out a little bit, but when you're with Don Callis, that kind of stuff happens, I guess.
But that's how you know it's working, though.
Oh,
He's getting
heat.
He's getting that Dominic Mysterio heat right now.
I don't know.
Dom, baby. Dirty flesh.
Dom gets booze. Kyle's getting told to shut up. Are those the same? Or
Hey, depending on how you're getting it.
It depends, yeah.
I don't know. Kyle's got louder and louder and louder, so I'm gonna give him a high five.
Someone's breathing into their mic. Robbie, is that you?
Yep, too close.
Robbie, you had one job.
But hey, we go over there and we follow that up with two more members of the Don Callis family, Brian Cage and Lance Archer. We just talked about them. They didn't introduce them, but those two guys they were up against were the Pillars of Destiny, Paul Titan and Hunter Gray.
You
That
sure?
took me quite a bit to go and look them up.
I thought they mentioned it on commentary, but not like full blown in the introductions.
I don't remember them mentioning their names. I know they did for the Jobbers later against House of Black, but because I was waiting for
I
them.
didn't know who they were.
Yeah,
I was waiting to hear who they were just because, like, they always introduce the Jobbers. And I was really impressed in this instance because usually the Jobbers are just smaller wrestlers. But we had two big guys that were perfect matches for Brian Cage and Archer. And honestly, I think these Pillars of Destiny, they kind of impressed me. I wouldn't mind seeing what else they can do outside of just getting obliterated by the Don Callis family.
That's something.
Yeah.
That's a perfect
give them-
round for them.
Give them a run, but hey, let's check this out.
Oh boy! Chop slam combo from Cage and Archer. Archer the cover and the pin.
Powerbomb choke slam.
I love Don's just walking on the apron casually and steps through the ropes as the count's finished.
How can you not simp over Don Callis? Come on, he's the GOAT.
No. Did you guys see his shoes tonight?
What about
Did
Juice?
anyone his shoes?
Oh
all
yeah, there's a nice
bedazzled and whatnot.
shoe.
That sounds about right.
Slip-ons with bedazzled footwear. You know you're an asshole, but when you wear bedazzled, it's like
Stand out.
full blown.
Man's going full peacock. He is peacocking out there. He is trying to get all the attention, but it's like, sir, you have Tony Storm.
Ooh, Don Callis versus Tony Storm, full gear. Let's go.
Winner gets Juice Robinson. Let's go.
Winner gets leave.
Yes. But hey, we go to the outside of the arena now, where we have the AEW frontline as road agent Chuck Taylor goes to call the conglomeration to come back inside. This is where Chucky T says to Orange Cassidy after pulling him aside that it's time for him to step up and be the leader, because he's the only one to have defeated pretty much everyone in the Moxley group with the Death Riders.
It's good to see Chucky T on TV. I was
It
happy.
was.
It was good to see him.
Plus, it's nice too because it's not the only time we've seen him on TV, and even though he did get murdered later, and you can kind of see it coming, at least they feature him in other ways too.
I mean, I don't know if this is ever going to happen, but with the way they're talking about Chucky T, it's probably not going to happen. Can you imagine down the road a full-blown best friends reunion? How cool that'd be.
Some way they got a lot of issues to resolve, though.
No, but I mean, like, I'm saying, like, after everything's been taken care of. I'm not saying like anything to
And Trent hasn't been seen in God knows how long too. After that, too, we don't know where the hell he's been.
Probably resting or relaxing or not smashing mom's van or something.
Shout out to Sue.
Big shout out. Sue's the next world champion. Sorry, Christian Cage.
Sue versus Mother Wayne. Let's go. Battle of the Moms.
Oof. Mother Wayne already lost. I'm sorry to say it. Sue's gonna come in with the double hooked pile driver with the J driller.
No, you know what? A dude buster right on the damn van.
Oh,
damn van. In relation to my Van Dam. Anyways,
Book of Tony.
Yeah. Book of Tony. Hey, speaking of the J Driller, we of course had Ladder War grudge match.
Hi guys.
Jericho becomes the Nueve. Hi guys. After defeating Mark Briscoe and becoming the new Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion. There's a lot of mixed feelings online about this. What did you guys think, Robbie?
Overall, the match was fine. Exactly what I expected it to be. It was violent. It was fun. Briscoe leaking blood. People going through tables. But, however, I was a serious proprietor on Jericho's first Ring of Honor World Title reign that he doesn't fucking need it. If it was the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, okay, cool. That's where he belongs. He belongs in that spotlight. But Jericho doesn't represent Ring of Honor at all. It didn't work in the first reign. I don't think it's going to work here in the second reign. What should have happened is Briscoe should have been put over in the match that him and his brother elevated in honor of Jay to win that title. I get it. Jericho being the way at that point, just put him in for the AEW World title. Put him back in that mix. But the problem is Ring of Honor is used to elevate other stars or bring back other Ring of Honor legends who have wrestled for that company before, like a Claudio Castagnoli or a Mark Briscoe, to put over newer talent that are trying to rise through those ranks of Ring of Honor. In what world does it make sense for Chris fucking Jericho to be Ring of Honor World Champion? You can say, yes, probably for the story purpose, but to me, it does not make sense at all. This was a bad booking decision, in my opinion, and usually I don't hate much about booking decisions, but there's no need for Jericho being Ring of Honor World Champion. If you want to put somebody in the learning tree with that title, it should have been either Big Bill or Brian Keith.
No, Big Bill. Big Bill. That's what I'd say.
Okay. I was kind of thinking there was going to be some shenanigans where Big Bill would climb up and grab the title, and some Christopher Daniels doing something like, you know what? You're the champion now, and Jericho's just
screw it. Let's
break the rules because everything else is chaotic here.
Anything but Jericho being Ring of Honor World Champion, that's what I would like. And usually I don't get all blown up out of proportion on this show, but I hate that decision 100%.
No, you, me, and the rest of the internet basically agree with that, Robbie. And nothing against Jericho. Like, Jericho's done so much for the industry. Yeah, but bro, please.
I'm still a Jericho fan.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, by all means, he could have easily. What's going on, Tony? He could have easily just put over the Briscoe situation with that match and everything. instead of taking the belt.
Yes, you can, Tony.
Yeah, Tony.
So it's like, I don't know. And then my other thing is I was thinking is like, going forward, they need to keep featuring ROH on ROH.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's cool that they mention ROH things on AEW.
Yeah.
But it just feels like, what's next? Are we gonna have AEW like champions on Ring of Honor? So if we're not, then stop.
Yeah, we rarely ever get anything like that, and like those, and that's the only reason I like Athena in her role is just because she's the only like exclusive wrestler pretty much for them. Tony Hayes says Ring of Honor died when TK bought it. Yeah, that's kind of been dying a slow death for years.
I give props to Tony for actually bringing it back, but yeah, that's it.
It's just Dark of Honor right now.
Ring of Dark.
It's absolutely
Dark of Honor.
It's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate for guys that like me, Neek, and Caesar who love Ring of Honor, grew up watching Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor used to stand for something when Steve Corino was running things, or even Jim Cornette putting his hat into the mix, even though his short little stint in Ring of Honor. But Ring of Honor was meant to literally have honor in the ring with really good storylines and good professional wrestling that had built so many stars in our industry. It's just a shame that Tony Khan is not doing more for Ring of Honor. Right. And that's what I want to see. I want to see more out of Ring of Honor. It's not a dead promotion. Nothing is dead unless you put the work to rising the promotion once again and restore it to its one-time popularity that we all used to love.
Right. Tony Hayes saying, think of all the WWE stars who came from Ring of Honor. I mean, look at everyone too, in like AEW and across the board, who, even if you've had a cup of coffee in Ring of Honor, that used to mean something. That used to mean you were someone that was willing to step up and not so much as being like, one of the mainstream type of wrestlers, but you were willing to, go to what so many people saw as like the underground, and you were able to, make it work. In Ring of Honor for a long time, there was a lot of people who thought that was going to be the next up and coming contender because they had all the right connections. They had all the international business relationships. And a lot of people thought, Sinclair would be, properly behind them, but that didn't necessarily happen. And I personally, I see why Jericho was the choice, because look at, how many movies he's been doing right now. You got Terrifier, you've got that one wrestling themed one, was a dark match. He's got some stuff coming out. So I could see wanting to have, for all the events, someone representing not just the company as a champion, but also to be bringing the Ring of Honor championship amongst all titles there to kind of give that some relevance. And honestly, why do I feel like, as I think about this and say this, that was a Jericho idea, and he's like, hey, boss, listen, I think this is how we can make it relevant.
So, since we're on the topic of like people who've grown from like company to company, like Tony was saying, I got a name for you guys that you could easily say has crossed all three boards. Any ideas? Let's just say he was on the
your favorite Mercedes Moné.
I was gonna say, let's just say he's on the show tonight. Baby.
Adam Cole, yeah.
Ring of Honor to WWE or NXT, WWE, and then all the way over back to AEW. So he's
that's why I wouldn't even have to see a problem seeing Adam Cole get a Ring of Honor World Title reign again too, because he is a Ring of Honor legend.
Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, think about too, even any of the times Adam Cole has wrestled on the WWE main roster, like I think about the reaction he got at the 2018 Royal Rumble. Like everyone was ready for him to come out there, and he lasted a long time and was amongst some absolute main event talents right there. And yeah, it just shows us what amazing quality of a star Adam Cole is. But hey, speaking of coleslaw, let's go right into story time with Adam Cole, baby. Well, we didn't really get to hear much of story time because then the Undisputeds come out and they are all just talking 100% that MJF doesn't deserve
Adam.
Adam.
Oh, I got a real one for you guys. If they do group up the four of them, could we officially somehow see Wardlow coming back?
I can see that because Wardlow is not completely kicked out of Undisputed at all. He's still
I don't think
a part
he ever
of that
was
match.
it?
But
can you imagine how cool that'd be if they brought back the four of them with Wardlow and backed him up, going up with MJF?
Yeah. Well, hey, you know what? I do appreciate the continuity here for looking at revenge. And we were all so upset about the Jericho decision that we forgot to mention Big Tom making his return,
His
wanting
flight was
to
delayed.
get
Remember that?
his payback. Big Tom, Tomohiro Ishii, representing the conglomeration, standing, of course, next to Rocky Romero, who is one
Persian
of the
club owner.
unsung heroes of modern professional wrestling. But you know what? It was nice to see Tomohiro Ishii coming back, and I honestly thought he was going to be gone for much longer. So I think Big Tom purposely let Briscoe lose the title so he would get a shot at it. That's my conspiracy for the day.
Well, didn't Ishii beat Jericho the last time he was on Dynamite? I think it was like last month they had that match against each other.
Something like that. Yeah, because
I
then
think
they beat him up and killed him off for a bit.
Because I think that actually would make sense storyline wise. Because at that point it's like, well, from where I'm at in New Japan, if when you beat a champion, you get the championship title shot. Now I'm the one coming for your title because I have beaten you before and I will beat you again. That's where I can get a little bit hyped up where it comes to Ishii versus Jericho doing that once again.
Exactly. Caesar, any thoughts out there for Ishii Jericho?
I'm all for it. Let's just see what goes on. Maybe like next week or on Ring of Honor TV or Honor Club, I should say.
Honestly, if it's going to be Honor Club, I might tune in for that too.
Shout out to Mac for helping out, providing the boys with some Honor Club. But yeah, getting back to it, we talked about the continuity going on with storylines and, of course, revenge.
Okay.
The Undisputeds have the payback on their minds as they all talk about how much they all despised MJF but love Adam Cole, Bebe. Caesar, what were you saying?
I was going to say this because I know Mac's going to put his ear to like the speaker when I say this. It was actually cool to hear Matt Taven actually do something rather than just be out there.
Right? Why was I actually kind of appreciating Matt Taven tonight?
I was actually appreciating Taven too tonight as well, and that's usually I appreciate his wrestling, but never for his promo work.
Matt Taven.
Yeah, he's never been known for promos and whatnot. But honestly, I've been appreciating him much more.
If they're going to pull the trigger with the four of them and Wardlow, please do it where they just run rampant through the whole company as a group. Not like John Moxley's faction, but yeah.
Hey, speaking of factions running roughshod, MJF is getting massaged by a very thick masseuse. Alicia Tout is going crazy backstage.
Yep.
But MJF tells them that, hey, if you want to be able to take me on at Full Gear, either Roddy or Adam Cole, hey, let's throw the other two in there too. Why not? You got to get 3 victories first to qualify to fight MJF at Full Gear. Caesar?
I feel like the internet community and Adam Cole too and Roddy were like, what the hell was MJF even talking about? But the question I've got, yeah, right. The question I've got is could they do 3 jobber matches each, and would that count, or do they have to do actual matches that MJF is picking? I wonder.
Yeah, see, that's the question of the day, because we had someone be able to throw out a challenge, which we'll talk about in a moment. So it really, I think, is going to be dependent on some factors. But hey, let's get right into that, shall we? We had the House of Black taking on a few jobbers, Kevin Koa, Jaden Monroe, and Parada de la Muerte. Malachi just absolutely X'd one of those jobbers at the very start, leaving only 2 of them. Kevin couldn't do much and was just thrown over to the trio, and they got obliterated. Yeah, rest in peace, jobbers. Time to go to the pay window. After the match, Buddy Matthews of the House of Black calls out
so cool.
Adam Cole. And I was like, wow, really? Was not expecting that.
Well, it's good
finally, Tony's gonna let him
in a while.
Some good effing food. But yeah, so of course we follow that up with Adam Cole confronting Buddy Matthews backstage, and Brody walks past the camera like a freaking solar eclipse. And
the whole episode ended. That's how long it took for him to walk by it.
Yeah, and Malachi walks by it's not a big deal, and Buddy doesn't even really give him the time of day before turning back and saying he wants to prove a point to Adam Cole. He wants to prove that Cole is fragile. To which my retort is, wasn't Buddy hurt a bunch in WWE, and that was part of the reason they cut him?
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
My brain immediately went to a line about Brett immediately when he was like, I want to prove to everyone, and then like he backed up. I was like, oh, here it comes, here it comes, here it comes, and then it was not. I was like, oh, oof. But Adam Cole and
Is that a Gainsborough painting in the background? So if you're wondering what the painting is in the background of my lovely wall there in the living room, that is actually a commission that was done for two of my dogs, Misty and Cammy. Yes.
We all love
Shout out
dogs.
to absolutely dog-friendly chat here. Shout out to Gainsborough though. We love art, and the art of professional wrestling continues
that's our
onwards.
art. That's our
Definitely an art.
Our art. But yes, so we get over to the next match, which was a women's match. Camille taking on Queen Aminata. I was absolutely looking forward to this match. I didn't really talk too much during this, or I should say I didn't really take a lot of notes, apart from backbreaker torture rack slam, and Aminata still kicked out. Fellas, before we get to what happened afterwards, what do we think of the match itself?
Well,
Caesar.
it sounds like the four of us were pretty mixed about it. I mean, I was digging it. Two big powerhouse women that are going for it.
Very physical
And-
women.
Yeah. And like this, I think this is a better match than the other one. Not because it's Mercedes, but because like Aminata is a lot taller than Mercedes. Mercedes is probably like 5'5", 5'7", right around there, I'm gonna assume. And with the two women like those two going, and Aminata's an up and comer, and she's getting a lot of a push. Don't know who's in charge of that, but thank you. It's cool to see her, and she's actually, how do I put it properly? She's able to throw hands and actually go, not just, oh, here's a 2-minute match, I'm done. No, it was like, what, like probably 10 minutes, I'm gonna guess, 5-10 minutes.
It was
That's
definitely
good.
longer than 4 minutes.
Well, yeah, but it was cool because you could tell Camille was like, holy shit, this girl's actually going.
Yeah,
So-
she can fight.
She
The
can
part
go.
that I was worried about was like, because she didn't get the win, but I'm hoping the push isn't dead by any means. I'm hoping that push is like, how do you want to call it, rerouted, but to like a even better spot.
Also,
So-
real quick, the match, according to Cage Match, was 8 minutes, 15 seconds for the women.
So about, we'll
was
call
great.
it around 10 minutes for sure. Oh yeah, it was hell of a match.
Mhm.
The question is, what did Robbie think of it?
For me, I actually enjoyed it too. I mean, I know that when you look at Queen Aminata, she's definitely a star. We've been saying this for weeks, but we
And
don't
she's
get to
young
talk
too.
that
Right.
too, and we don't get to talk more about the Brick House Camille. Camille
I'm
is
so
definitely
happy to see her.
she is definitely going to
Hey,
be a
what?
shining star within this organization that's going to help this women's division. Right now, she is kind of being behind that shadow of Mercedes Moné.
Camille
unfortunately.
and Aminata are actually the same age.
Exactly. And
Let's-
Camille too. I also want to bring this fun fact too. At one point, I believe it still is. In fact, Camille was actually the longest reigning NWA World Women's Champion in history,
I could see it. Look at her.
and I believe she
Like
held it for
breaking-
over 290 days. And
Probably breaking bitches for something to do.
obviously, it's still new environment for Camille to be wrestling on national or at this point international television, as opposed to wrestling with the NWA, where some of their stuff is mostly taped and then put up on YouTube or the CW app. Where that's where I'll say like she did look kind of like a little clunky, but I'm not going to blame her for that because she's still not used to wrestling in this type of environment yet, being on television. But for somebody that hasn't had much reps being in that ring on a national, actually no, not international, an
Say
international globe, as in being on Triller TV or a TBS product, I say Camille has been doing pretty good. She's just got to
Yeah.
keep honing it in. And also, I want to shout out Queen Aminata's little Shinsuke Nakamura tribute to it, that Kinshasa on the outside. I was watching that and I saw that kick. I'm like, did she just hit a Kinshasa on her? Like, what the hell? But
These girls were
Overall,
physical, and I
great
appreciate that. Yeah,
It's funny because like there's gonna be certain women that are super tall, like 5'10" powerhouses, and then there's gonna be smaller ones that are like 5'1" to 5'5", and I'm like, man, if these girls do it properly, they can mix it up with each other. That'd be some insane stuff right there.
Yeah.
So
Hey, there's some like the very shorter female wrestlers that are just absolute badasses. I think about Lufisto.
my favorite.
was a legend.
Don't
Yeah.
I didn't save
Loved
the
her.
picture actually,
Oh,
but it was like something like Camille was at like a movie premiere, I believe, something like that. It was recently, and she was like wearing an outfit, and everyone's like saying, "Oh my god, she's so hot." And then someone did like a split screen picture where it was like one side was her and like her girly dressed up, like, you know, looking nice, and then the other side was her in the ring, and someone's like, "Get you one of those who can do both." And I'm like, yeah. It's true. If she could do
It's
both,
true. It's
you're
true.
winning.
Yeah, and one of the things we can always say about Camille, she is an absolute beast in the ring, and she gets the victory over Aminata. Mercedes hoists her hand up as Miss Statlander comes out, getting ready for Fright Night Dynamite.
I
their
feel
match.
so bad for Chris, you guys.
Statlander having a stare down with Camille, and as this is happening, attempted to get jumped by Mercedes, but it did nothing. She knocks down Mercedes, but Camille manages to fight back. The numbers are a little too much for Statlander as Born Again Kristen gets annihilated by Mercedes Moné and Camille the Brickhouse.
I feel so bad because when Statlander's music hit, I didn't even know it was her.
Well, she does have a new theme, so I'm
No.
still trying to get used to it too.
Right.
No, but like her spacey thing that before it had a hit, so you knew it was her. And now it's like, who is this?
Yeah, you don't
Kinda
have the
weird.
same like Pavlovian effect anymore.
Like, who is it? Mercedes has like the big like the build up, and they go CEO, whatever. Chris needs that first hit to catch everyone's attention. I'm not saying she should put like
it just
Chris.
has like a slow build up.
Yeah, and then the video just reminds me of that song "Take on Me" from like the '80s.
Yeah, I really like the video for her. The Contron looks pretty epic.
Well, they need to bring
It
back the
does
old
look nice.
Trons where they used to have like highlights of wrestlers, not just their name.
You know what? And I think everybody in IWC will agree because I miss watching those good old Titantrons. They were so good.
My favorite in the past few years is actually, believe it or not, one of them actually is a shout out to Will Ospreay when he came through with Don Callis and Don Callis' security at the one event, and it
Yeah,
had like
the big door.
IWGP Titantron background, but then on all of the 3 other screens had like it was like 68 this champion, 50 something this champion,
Since
Will
we're one
Ospreay, Airless Assassin, all that stuff.
Since we're talking about old Titantrons and our favorite Titantrons on the off topic here, my favorite Titantron was actually Randy Orton back in the Legend Killer days with Burn My Light. The little gold
Great song.
effect going. It's so good. And you just see him RKOing the Undertaker out of nowhere, him doing his little taunts and stuff. That was peak WWE Titantrons for me right there, was Randy's.
Yo, let me tell you, one of the ones that comes to mind for me is Kane, but especially when Kane unmasked. And I think about how just deranged he looked, and that one part of the Tron where you just see like his fist kind of like balling up, and then you see like his reflection in the mirror. Like, oh my gosh, that was perfect for setting him up as a monster without needing anyone else for it.
And this definitely was the setup for what to come and See No Evil.
Oh no, exactly. Like Kane's Tron was awesome. But yes, we'll get right back into the show because this is an AEW Dynamite recap stream. And we talked about the AEW army. The front line there was trying to stop a car from arriving, but it wasn't a truck. Instead, no, this was the lovely town car SUV, which had Christian Cage and the Patriarchy inside. They look over, and Kip Sabian is crouched behind a car for some reason, and the Patriarchy started to give chase. As they make their way through the crowd, Excalibur was trying to go over the upcoming matches for the next few weeks, which I appreciate that they brought that back, by the way. But Excalibur gets interrupted trying to plug the next couple of weeks of shows because Kip Sabian gets chased to ringside by the Patriarchy. All the meanwhile, Hook has been looking around for whoever it was that hurt his father Taz. Hook storms to the ringside area knowing that they are right there in the ring, and he goes after those scumbags. Nay, before he can, Kip Sabian hits the low blow on Hook. They have stopped him. Hook now is just at the mercy of the Patriarchy, and Kip Sabian has potentially joined. Christian Cage tells him he knows why he's been doing this and trying to get his attention, but he tells him to go over into the corner, which I thought was funny.
It's just great because
they
he
waste the hook.
listened so well too. He's like, okay.
Oh yeah, and with Kill Switch, which hopes and prayers go out to Kill Switch. We hope he gets well soon. We
Don't
love
rush
him.
back. Get better.
Yeah, exactly. Health is much more important than professional wrestling.
I was gonna say snapping spines, but okay.
And I think definitely the Patriarchy did need another wrestler though, because I really like them being able to do singles, tags, and trios. So if Kip Sabian is truly joining in here, I am absolutely glad. Though it sucks because I'd say Sabian and Nick Wayne had some pretty good matches together.
I would say that he's not in yet, and Christian's gonna be like, you can join, but you have to do some shit first. Like
it's like an initiation.
Yeah.
Initiate into the family.
Like, yeah, exactly. He's like, you want to be a part of us, you gotta do some shit. You gotta do some weird shit, like really weird, like
that's a little weird.
The balls, like a low blow. There you go. That's your initiation.
That's very weird, especially
that's
with the picture.
That's never been done in wrestling. He's gonna get one of those Christian my dad t-shirts too, probably. Make him wear that.
His daddy.
Oh, I was saying Christian's my dad. You want to put Christian's daddy? Okay, let's go.
Exactly, because they're. But yes, so we get through that, and we have hit the main event, which if you are just now joining us, make sure after the stream to rewind to the very back where we will be talking about the main event. But now we have some segments that we love to go over, unless anyone else had any last-minute thoughts for the future of Christian Cage and the Patriarchy.
Well, when it comes down to, actually, I'm going to talk about more on Christian and the Hook situation. I actually firmly believe that the Patriarchy did indeed, in storyline cases, attack Taz, because you look at what Christian was trying to do before. Christian was trying to get Hook to join the Patriarchy way before Taz was even attacked. When he did the kill switch right onto that clipboard where that contract is for his world title match, he said it's not what it seems like. To me, that's like, yeah, I did attack your father, but I did it because I want you to have a better role model. And I think at that point, what I would see in the future is basically referencing how Taz was in ECW and in his time in WWE, where he's going to touch on, your father was never there for you. He was too busy doing what we normally did on the road. That, and plus your dad was nothing but a thug. You need a better role model.
Ooh.
And that role model will be me, Christian Cage.
He's gonna
That's
make
good.
a
I like
shirt. He can wear a shirt that says Christian is daddy for a while.
Hey, it's lit. Let's get some shirts like that for all the boys. But all right, let's get into it. We have the Megastar of the Night. This is powered by the Cold Case. Yes, exactly. Powered by Cold Case Project. It's a channel that focuses on all kinds of disappearances, murders, and other cold cases. So if you want to indulge in some true crime content, especially ones that may be 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, it's a lot of binge-worthy videos. Hey, go check that out on YouTube. But we, of course, like I said, Megastars. Caesar with the voice changer. Who's your Megastar of the Night?
I'm torn between three people. I hate it.
That's not the deep voice.
Oh, do you want me to do the voice?
Yes.
Okay, 1 second.
Okay, that's better.
There we go. Witness protection.
Thank you. No one knows who I am now. No, I don't know who to pick. I'm torn between three people. But they're all good choices. So I'll make it simple, and we can play this game properly. Do you want to play a game?
Yes, Jigsaw.
Yeah, let's go. It's Halloween, right?
Alright, so the simple way of putting it is three individuals. One being Chucky T, we haven't seen him in forever. It was really cool to see him do his thing. Unfortunately, he got completely destroyed. But we'll see how it goes. Number two, and this is ironic because of my voice, John Moxley is scaring the crap out of me every week now. Those vignettes, those videos. Shut up, being serious. This is the crap I deal with on Dirt Sheet Radio. While these guys laugh their asses off, you guys should go to comicbookclick.com and like follow that page wherever the link is.
Absolutely.
Do it.
Make sure to bookmark it.
Do it.
Comic Book Click. There we go. Damn, this shit sucks. And then the third person, because I'm crazy that way, and I ride a little tricycle around, is the big man weighing in 260 is Shelton Benjamin. Like, what the hell does he eat? Like, holy smokes! I feel
Chicken
like
breasts, steaks.
it's not even out of the chicken. Like, he just grabs the chicken out of a farm.
He goes to
Oh,
Brock's
I mean
farm.
that. He just grabs the chicken and then just takes it. That's it. Doesn't even cook it. Just goes.
Well, he is a Southern boy. So I
You're
won't be
straight up
surprised.
protein.
I bet his benching max is like 500 pounds.
Oh yeah, no, he definitely
Yeah, he
also
definitely
comes
does.
from that era of wrestlers that had immense bench pressing numbers.
You know what we should do
Mhm.
though? We should ask Robbie who his megastar is.
My megastar of the night is going to go right to Kyle Fletcher. Kyle Fletcher had a really, to me, he's the star of the night because he had that what the fuck moment that everybody kind of started to question, like, why the hell are you shaving your head? And
Scar
honestly, I love the fact too of how he was going in this promo work. It felt like an old school heel of explaining your actions of what you have done. I love the fact too he was getting on the crowd for chanting at him to shut up. That good old heel attitude that he was doing. He was getting the right amount of heat tonight. And I really like the fact too how he called out Will Ospreay, Kenny Omega, etc., saying, I'm better than all of you, and I'm sure as hell better than you, Will. I've always been better than you. At one point, I was the next big thing here until you came along, and then they started calling me the next Will Ospreay. But I'm not the next Will Ospreay because I know I can take you out. That is my megastar of the night, Kyle Fletcher.
I'm glad they're not calling him the next Will Ospreay because he's a really good talent.
He is. He's a gifted talent that needs to be pushed a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's something that I used to say a long time for my pick. 2 weeks in a row, I gotta go with Shelton Benjamin. I mean, come on, look at his performance. The way he just absolutely for Shelton, yes, he like threw Sammy up like it was nothing. Flapjack that guy. Like
I have never seen that ever in wrestling. The last time I saw something like that happen, Sabu broke his neck.
Right, like Sammy just took that like a champ. So kudos to him, and of course, we got to give an honorable mention to MJF's masseuse.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
She was very talented, I heard.
Absolutely. As talented as, of course, the Jobbers of the Night presented by,
Jobbers.
hey, there it is, comicbooklick.com. Make sure you go there. You will not be a jobber when you visit that website. But looking at it, now we're going to be going in reverse order. I think now that Megastar is done, Caesar, it's time to stop that voice. But
Yes, thank God.
but now we will be looking at our jobbers, and I have to say I'm gonna be going with Pillars of Destiny, Paul Titan and Hunter Gray. Those are those two real big muscular dudes that took on Brian Cage and the Murder Hawk. I thought they looked great, and I would love to see them get signed or at least have some more tryout matches, maybe like we said in Ring of Honor. But we'll throw it back, Robbie. I believe you were before me there.
I'm going to be next on this one. Mine is going to be the AEW production team because tonight they had some very questionable angles, especially during the ladder war match, as what you were mentioning earlier with that table spot late and on off that one. And the
You did catch Jericho's the back of his head hitting the
I
ladder.
hope he's okay.
Yes.
That was harsh.
And also catching the ending of tonight's main event. When it comes to your production teams in professional wrestling, you have to have your A-tier guys up there and make sure you get all those correct camera angles, because otherwise it really hinders the nuances of what is in professional wrestling. The correct angle will give you more of a variable factor when it comes to professional wrestling. And I honestly think the AEW production team was just not there tonight. So they are indeed jobbers of the night.
I will add on to Robbie's thing actually, because this is very important. At least they're not doing the damn camera shakes. Holy shit!
Yeah,
'Cause if we had that shit, I'd have to watch AEW in like parts.
Have the barf bag on standby for it.
Barf bag, barf bucket. What is this, rookie hour?
Yes, Caesar. Speaking of rookies.
Thank you. I'm glad I'm being told I look young. Okay, no. Enough of the dirty talk. No, I'm going to give it to the obvious one. Jericho. We don't need you as ROH champion.
Damn,
we don't need you as a champion, bro. Go on tour with Fozzy. Go away for a bit. Or else be the manager and let, like, you know, your boys do some shit. Like, like nothing against Jericho. Like he's a good wrestler. He's done his time on this earth as a pro wrestler. But my man, I'd rather see one of us as a Ring of Honor champion. Okay, like go
Robbie, your
One
time.
day.
Robbie's
Hopefully
gonna
one
do a
day.
run. Robbie's gonna do a run in as Supercard of Honor and just
Robbie of Honor.
dude.
Damn,
give
and
me
I'll
the
make
t-shirts
that show
right
my
now.
bitch.
Give me the t-shirts right now before they go on sale. That's what.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, like seriously though, like we don't. I'm sorry, but we love you, Briscoe. But like, holy bro, go take off some time for a bit. I would if I were you. After having to sell it to for Jericho tonight, what a bummer.
Speaking of selling, you know what we sell here on Dirt Sheet Radio? We sell anything you want. So monk.com, use promo code DSR10, get your 10% off of aromatherapy diffusers. And we'll be looking at the match of the night. Caesar, you're up.
So if I'm gonna say
whole
when it comes to matches, I'm gonna take the easy way out before you two get the chance. Shelton and Sammy. That was great. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Yeah,
Someone else
absolutely.
take it now.
And
Right.
then my match tonight will be indeed the main event between the Elite and Daniel Garcia and Private Party. I honestly didn't expect Private Party getting the roll-up victory. And honestly, that spot, as I mentioned earlier, was so spot on. That plus all 6 guys were able to mesh well in that ring together. And it put on a nice little instant classic for a trios match. Hopefully we'll be talking about this in 10 years, talking about that being an underrated trios match for Dynamite.
And now for the main event, Neek.
Listen, I enjoyed honestly a lot of the matches here. They all delivered in different ways, even the squash matches, because you got to see what a lot of the wrestlers can do that maybe either needed a victory after a while. Because come on, like Brian Cage and Archer, they needed something. But
I'm
you know
digging
what?
that tag team.
Yeah, they're going to be awesome together. I already feel it.
Future tag champs for sure.
Just to shake it up a little bit, I really enjoyed, I did enjoy the ladder war for what it was. Maybe I didn't like the result of it too much, but the
Nobody
match
did.
itself was
That's why I
pretty
didn't make
great.
match of the night for me.
Because
Unfortunately.
honestly, too, you got Jericho, who's been in countless ladder matches for the last 30 years, and then Briscoe and his
couple.
brother, who have specialized in the ladder war. Like, this was a great match for ladder match veterans. And win, lose, or draw, whatever happened at the end, that happened. I understand why they did it, but ultimately, I enjoyed the match itself for what it was, even though production might have missed a few things. The 2 guys were killing it, and I got to give respect and props to Jericho and Briscoe for that whole match.
I got a question for you two, since we're on the thing called a podcast live here on Dirt Sheet Radio every Wednesday.
They're always on.
Yeah.
So Brian Cage and Lance Archer, I want one of your opinions on, or you guys have 2 picks you guys can choose from. When it comes to a name, should they get their own name, or should they be said to be representing the Don Callis family during introductions? What do you guys think?
¿Por qué no los dos?
Because it sounds weird having both.
I mean, not necessarily, because I mean, you had like
you can do that.
Yeah, because
Like-
look at like House of Black. You had Kings of the Black Throne honoring the House of Black.
That
There's a lot of
sounds cool
repetition
though. If they're gonna do that, they'd have to find a good name. But I mean, for now, it just sounds cool saying like representing the Don Callis family.
Yeah, I mean, knowing how Don Callis is, I'm sure he wants his name, of course, to be
That's what I'm
represented.
getting at.
plastered
You gotta go
all-
everywhere, yeah.
I'm surprised they don't have like t-shirts and jerseys made for him, like because how his character is.
Yeah, we gotta get some T-shirts and jerseys to represent Dirt Sheet Radio.
Let's
Damn.
go.
You all better do it. It's right there. You gotta go do it.
Get the merch. But hey, if you enjoyed hanging out with us, guess what? We enjoyed hanging out with you, and Dirt Sheet Radio is always on. Rumor has it.
Rumor
We,
has
of
it.
course, are going to have myself, John Escudero, and Greg Thomas on later tonight. Mac,
Ooh.
unfortunately, won't be making it, but you know what? We will try to make do in tribute to him. But yeah, so we got the best kept secret in professional wrestling, the Dirt Sheet
Woo.
Radio flagship podcast, where it all begins. Where it all began? Where it all begins again. WrestleMania 20. Who remembers that
Oh my
one?
god.
That was such
I
a
don't
great
even know how old I
one.
was.
That
That
was
was
a good WrestleMania 22. Oh my god.
That was an awesome one. But
Cena's
yes, we'll be
show.
It was goated. Like the whole pay-per-view flow so nicely, which says a lot for like a 6-hour show.
I'm not even sure if I'm even allowed to mention the main event. So
Oh, that's okay. I will. Guerrero and Angle was great. No,
that was a damn good technical match. That was my favorite match of the whole pay-per-view.
I miss those days.
you know what? I'll go ahead and say it. I personally enjoyed Benoit, Michaels, and Triple H. I thought that was one of the best triple threat matches of all time.
Oh, so we
Upset
are allowed
internet.
to
Are we?
That's what I was afraid to say. I was about to say just redacted.
I'll say it. Anyways, we'll, of course, be live on Dirt Sheet Radio where we'll say everything that will, of course, be getting us canceled. But hey, remember, that's in the morning. You can enjoy it on your way to work. But when you get home from work, make sure you go. Yeah, exactly. I'm not here to tell you what shift you should be a part of. But hey, if you're home later in the evening, of course, TNA Impact live stream. And follow that up with SmackDown. Your boy Nick's going to be on there. Of course.
Oh my God. Best kept secret right there to watch is him on SmackDown.
SmackDown, yes. There's a few of them. I did the SmackDown cast myself a couple of weeks ago, and that was interesting.
The Neek show.
That was truly the Neek show, but you know, can't have SmackDown without Monday Night Raw. So on Monday nights, there's always Raw. We still got to replace the graphic on Tuesdays for NXT, but we'll get around to it. Of course, you are here on Dynamite, and when we hit into the weekends,
podcast show.
Oh yeah, this is the goated one, the best one. Make sure you like
only one besides the main one you should watch.
Exactly. Just Wednesday nights, just hang out with us. And, you know, if you wanted to, you can hang out with these guys, I suppose. It's CJ and Tyler. They're going to be talking about anything and everything wrestling, even just beyond Level Up, because who knows what's going on with that.
They're trying to get it started still, unfortunately.
Absolutely. And then we're, of course, going to have the boys on 3NT's Wrestling Podcast, where they're going to be talking all about wrestling as well. Hey, guess what? Mac and I just did the WCW Spring Stampede show. I thought we had a graphic for that went up, but I guess it did not. But anyways, yeah, Mac and I talked all about Spring Stampede 1999, and it was absolutely fun. It was tremendous. I enjoyed it. So if you were a fan of that event, go check it out. A lot of people said it was the last great WCW show. And hey, chat, Mac and I were talking about what our next WCW program was. So if you have any ideas, let us know. One of the ones we were looking at was the started off with a potentially high success rate, but then as the night went on, we saw, oh, wow, this is going to be a bomb. Halloween Havoc 1998. We'll be looking potentially at that one, but hey, we will always take requests and look at anything and everything that comes to WCW.
You take requests. Exactly. I like that.
For myself, for Robbie, for Caesar, I am Nick LaRocco signing off, and we bid you adieu.
Have a good night.